Nice to meet you. I talked to you the other day. Okay. Yes, I'm the one that does all the artwork. Yeah. Yeah, I was telling.
The one that you were visiting was your company.
Hey everybody, good evening. Good evening, good evening. Good evening from Englewood, Colorado. We're at the Englewood City Council meeting tonight and we're here MJ and I. There she is over there talking with another new friend that I've met. That's Pam that she's talking to. Pam is the mother of the individual in the court hearing, Mr. Peak, that I just published the other day, or I published it on yesterday. If you have not watched that court proceeding, you're going to want to watch that when you have some time to go sit there and watch it for about 15 minutes. So Mrs. Peak there is 81 years old. She lives in senior housing. Her son Tom is in jail right now on a 30-day sentence for trespassing in public. Yeah, so there's a lot of weird stuff, but she's here tonight to provide public comment, so we're definitely going to stick around for that portion of public comment. MJ and I are on the 5-minute portion of public comment, which is called scheduled public comment in Englewood. So we signed up ahead of time. There's 4 or 5, there's 5 of us total on the 5-minute agenda. The first individual that's providing public comment tonight on the 5-minute schedule is Christopher Cordova. And he was over here and was just talking to me and was kind. So that's going to be interesting. I don't know what his topic is. He wouldn't tell me. He said it's a surprise. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, Lucky 225, that was something else, wasn't it? You guys, I'm going to tell you though, if you put things into perspective and the world we're living in, right? I mean, my utopia is to get government out of homelessness, but that's not the world I live in. So I have to somewhat function and adapt within this world that I live in. And Judge Joe Jefferson happens to be an extremely good judge. Now, there are a lot of varying opinions too under that video that I published about him. And you know, you're free to go read those if you click on newest comment, right? I didn't heart some of that because I don't agree with some of it, but that is what it is. It is what it is, and people are entitled to have their feelings and views on these elected officials, and Judge Joe Jefferson is the only elected judge in the state of Colorado in a municipality, and that's a big damn deal. And this city council, particularly Steve Ward, doesn't want to give him a raise. He doesn't think Jefferson is running a good court. And we're here to set that record straight. And then MJ has some things she wants to talk about. So the regular meeting's supposed to start at 7. How is everybody tonight? Keeping the swine in line. Bokomo. Brandon, how are you? Good to see you. Health, wealth, and hope. I had to change my name from Jenny Friedman to my business name. Okay. Irish Rover, thank you for being in here. Did I see Aurora Transparency? Hey, my friend. We're going to go catch up with her tomorrow and check in on her health. Ricardo, what's happening? Is the crazy guy still lurking? Not recently. I haven't gone live, really. Who knows if he'll be over here. Whatever. Papa Chuck, I'm going to give him a little bit of hell. Indeed I am. I got my 5-minute speech all written out. Leonard, how are you? Good to see you. Big Len, I'm doing all right. Keeper, what's happening?
Oh, well, Amy's I thought we were going to have kids. Well, you know. And you know what, people that don't.
So just some regular housekeeping rules. As you all know, the mods run the chat. And the rules are they don't put up with any shit. If you're talking shit about my people, or if they decide they don't want to listen to you talk shit about me, it's up to them. If they're going to nuke you, they're usually pretty good about giving you a warning. If you get nuked, it's because you deserved it. So nobody will talk shit about my people on my channel, in my stream, or in my comments. You will be immediately blocked from my channel. I don't ever care to engage with you. You don't have freedom of speech on my channel, period. And that's that. So MJ's got a very heartfelt delivery that she wants to make tonight, and we're going to give her that microphone, and then we are going to give her the round of applause that she deserves. Keeper, well, that's very sweet. Thank you.
Like I say, I'm weak, but I'm even looking at things differently. No, honestly.
Football, Byron, turn that off. I'm not buffering over here. Are we buffering or are we good?
Well, no, he's got it. He had seizures.
Yeah, Brandon, thank you very much.
Well, Thomas has Medicaid.
So it's about 5 to 7. Let's see where they're at. Oh, and hey, you guys, before we go in there, I just want to fill you in. I'm following what's going on here in the courts. And this week, on the court docket, I want to show you something. There's a guy on this docket 25 times. 25 separate cases. And it begins here. All separate cases. 25 separate cases. This is how Englewood wants to solve homelessness, and they don't want to pay a good judge to address the issues. Isn't this fascinating? All separate cases. So guess what? This guy's not coming to court unless he's in jail. 25 separate cases. Englewood PD man's security here. I don't know, MJ and I got off the elevator and 3 of them were literally walking right up to us in a herd. I don't know, that was weird, but they left, so who knows what that issue was about. Ananon, so they have trespassed Thomas Peak from the park near his mother's home, from another park in Englewood, and from the public sidewalk on Broadway. Yeah, Judge Jefferson is a good judge. He's not a perfect judge. I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be some questioning to the area restrictions. I think these judges are doing this stuff in an attempt to appease the voting populace, if you will, and those city leaders. However, Judge Jefferson was elected, and I do think he's making some mistakes on these area restrictions. And he gave MJ some area restrictions as well. So, yeah, Snarky, we'll be on the hunt still for the perfect judge, right? Let's go take a look and see what's going on in here. This is where Dwight works, and Dwight's here today, and he has come in and said hello, and very cordial. And so they're still doing some kind of presentation here. Oh, and then, yeah, this city council meeting is going to be pretty interesting. There's some interesting topics on here. The mayor who was part of being recalled, he would like to be reimbursed his election expenses for the recall. So there's some state law in Colorado that, if I'm interpreting it correctly, and mind you, I'm not an attorney, that if a city passes an ordinance, anybody involved in a recall election that didn't get recalled can ask the city to reimburse them for what it took for them to campaign to maintain their seat. So he wants to be reimbursed something like $3,000. So that's on the agenda tonight. Also on the agenda, they tried to sneak it in on the consent agenda, is Englewood would now like to give away their opioid settlement dollars to the county. Something like $700,000 on the big opioid settlement. I'm sure if you haven't heard of it, Google it. It's nationwide, and it's a settlement that's going to go on for like till the year 2039. And all these states are getting X amount of dollars based on this settlement. And then so much of that money is going to be put into the programming that the settlement says it can go into, like, education for overdoses, handing out Narcan. Of course, we're going to saturate the schools and do it for the children and all that kind of stuff. So Englewood, instead of using $700,000 for what they could right here in their own city, they're going to go ahead and give it to the county and go, okay, here you go, you can have it. So yeah, they're just not the brightest group on the majority of the city council. I think the intelligent ones are, of course, in the minority. Yeah, so this was today's docket, and I didn't come watch it. I'm sure we have a homeless individual here. Trespass, failure to appear. This guy's case is just failure to appear. Here's another one. Resisting, trespassing, shoplifting, failure to appear. Trespass, failure to appear. Obstruct highway or passage, general regulations, trash in public, failure to appear. Yeah, so Englewood has a heavy court docket full of homeless people. I mean, that's pretty much what these courts are full of. And they don't come to court because they forget, they can't, they won't, they don't want to go to jail. They're scared, they can't get representation, so on and so on. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. So they're...
I'm worried about Joe.
They're done with the...
The call, he's got still, and he's homeless, and he goes to his son. See, he used to live. First time I met.
Hey, Dawn, would you carry this when you're ready? We'll just... Yeah, because they just took their break, so they're going to start the regular meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so...
Hey, do I have any books hanging or anything like that?
No, you're good.
Okay.
But you're live.
I know, I saw it.
Uh-huh. But no, you are good.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure because I just blew my nose.
Unscheduled public committee.
So there's going to be 5 speakers on the 3-minute. So...
So do they do the 5-minuters first?
Yes. So you'll go first because you're on there first. Yeah, probably, because that's my spot.
Oh, is that still your spot?
Of course it is. Actually, this one is. I like now because I can't see this side of the city council, so I
got my
like.
camera set up there for the city manager, and then I'm gonna have this one probably at me. But I can download their YouTube video too to get that too.
Yeah, but you don't get all those angles that you're doing, so that's good. A pen? Yes, I do.
How's it going?
Good, Sean. Hey, so yeah, thank you for that response. that email response. However, we just went down there and they're still doing the same thing.
Outlining is, I mean, it's the SOP, but what they've been told is you will not refuse to allow.
Well, they refused her to use the. What happened, MJ? Tell him what happened just now when you went down to the library.
I asked him if I could use the restroom. He said that I needed to give him my name. I asked him why. He goes, I don't know, just ask the library lady. She'll tell you why. I go, no, I think I'll just go. I can look at the lawyer.
Well, they did, I know, advise security to, if someone doesn't give the name, we can still let anybody use the restrooms. That's what.
So that's the route we're going? We're still going to collect names to use the bathroom, Sean?
I don't think anyone's collecting.
Then how come we don't have to give our name up here?
What the purpose is. Write it down on a piece of paper. I don't know if it's because we've incurred so many hundreds of thousands in cleaning up the bathrooms.
Well,
because
what
of
the
drug
hell
use.
is a name going to do?
I know. Yeah.
My name is I have to pee. My name is F you. How about that?
Let me find out kind of the rationale behind it.
Thank
See what
you.
we can do. But I know that they were asked to let anybody use it, regardless.
Well, he
of
didn't
the-
offer for her to go ahead and use it,
Yeah.
and that's a
Or
problem.
contact the library staff.
Okay, so we got another issue that I haven't talked to you about. No. So they're collecting names downstairs in the library to use the bathroom. You have to sign in on a clipboard to use the fucking bathroom in the public library. But you don't up here. You guys, I'm trying to be a little more tolerant in my speech and my delivery of my true feelings. Let's just leave it at that. How's that? So yeah, Sean Lewis and I have been emailing because I'm going to try to give the city the opportunity to fix that problem. And if they're not gonna, I guess they want it to be a bigger problem. Because you're not going to collect people's names to use the bathroom. You're begging for a discrimination lawsuit.
Hello, ladies.
Hi,
How are you?
Kim. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well.
Good. Yeah, I told you I was going to bring that stuff in case we had any friends come. And we did give some stuff out downstairs. Somebody was using the library and had all their stuff stolen
Oh, you're killing.
because they make them leave it outside.
You know what? See, that's something that's got to be changed.
To see?
Why can't we have, like, at the light rail station, why can't we have lockers?
Why can't we just treat people with some
Oh, give me a
just
break. You
basic,
think that's going to happen when pigs fly?
yeah,
You
human
know,
decency?
I really do think I have a bad day if I go to Walmart and don't get 3 hugs. So, you know,
I love her. We've been getting to know each other this past week, and I love her. Okay, I gotta find my glasses. I'm probably gonna set you guys on the floor.
Everyone, thank you. We
I'm
are
going to be talking about city council's responsibilities.
Thank you.
If you're able to do so, please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. City Clerk, if you could please take roll call.
Yes, good evening. Mayor Pro Tem Anderson.
Present.
Member Nunnenkamp. Member Prang. Present. Member Russell. Present. Member Ward.
Present.
Member Wright. Present. Mayor Seer.
Present.
6 present and 1 absent. The 1 absent is Councilmember Nunnenkamp.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 5, this is the
Camp
minutes
is-
of the regular city council meeting from December 18, 2023. Any changes? Member Russell.
I have a correction to the vote on 11C2. I voted no on the Hampton Complete Streets, Old Hampton Complete Streets.
Thank you very much, Member Russell. You did. Can we read that correction, City Clerk? Perfect. Any other changes? Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve the city council meeting of December 18th with the change that Member Russell stated?
I move to approve the amendments, the amended, city council regular meeting minutes from Monday, December 18th.
Thank you, Member Russell. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Can we please vote?
Mayor Pro Tem Anderson,
Aye.
Member Prang. Aye. Member Russell.
Aye.
Hang tight, Danny, you'll hear.
Member Wright.
Hey, good to see you in here tonight.
Mayor Zero.
Aye.
Let the record show 6 ayes.
Thank you. Nothing under agenda item 6, moving us to recognition of scheduled public comment. The deadline decided to speak for scheduled public comment is Wednesday by 5 p.m. prior to the meeting through the city clerk's office. This is an opportunity for the public to address city council. There is an expectation that the presentation will be conducted in a respectful manner. Council may ask questions for clarification, but there will not be any dialogue, and please limit your presentation to 5 minutes. Tonight, Member Prang will be giving a response to public comment. First up is Christopher Cordova here to address council.
I printed out something for each of you. Can I hand this to you?
Yeah, can you do my name, city clerk? And Mr. Cordova, you can just state your name, your address across, please.
All right, so I have a lot to say, so I'll be speaking quickly, so please bear with me.
Please turn on your mic.
Oh. Please start on that. Where to start? Okay, thank you. Nope.
Should be a button with a star. It'll make the mic green. There we go. There you are. And just your name and your address, Mr. Cordova?
Hi, my name is Christopher, I'm not going to give my address. I'm here today to speak on the unsanitary bodily hygiene policy and the standards of behavior. This policy violates the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution in 2 respects. First, the policy improperly makes a personal attribute such as body odor a determinative factor in the city facility staff's enforcement of the policy. Because the policy's prohibition of offensive body odor is in no way restricted to instances of actual material disruptions which are incompatible to city facility functions, the restriction impinges upon individual liberty and sanctions that which may not be sanctioned merely on the basis of body odor. Highlighted in yellow, quote, creating a nuisance to or impeding use of a city facility by others, end quote, body odor bugs. Highlighted in pink, quote, may result in warning, immediate removal, and or removal / exclusion up to 90 days, end quote. This rule should be void for vagueness because the only indication within the policy as to what constitutes a nuisance is, quote, body odor bugs. Moreover, the policy neither contains nor refers to identifiable standards, thereby failing to provide adequate notice to citizens wanting or in some cases needing to conduct business in an Englewood city facility. Because this rule impinges upon individual liberty in an arbitrary and discriminatory manner without cause, justification, or reason, this rule violates the due process clause of the 14th Amendment. Secondly, since the city manager, Sean Lewis, enacted this rule with the explicit intention of restricting persons with body odor accessing Englewood city facilities, such action violates the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, highlighted in blue. Quote, these standards of behavior protect the rights and safety of visitors, employees, and volunteers, end quote. It does nothing of the sort. To the contrary, this policy serves to violate the rights of visitors. Highlighted in green, quote, warning, removal, and exclusion for violation of these standards are supplemental to all other actions authorized by law, such as criminal charges, end quote. A violation of this rule is not criminal by nature, yet paragraph 2 of the purpose statement implies that failure to comply with the rule could result in criminal charges, presumably to arrest uncooperative individuals pursuant to the criminal trespass. The difficulty with this inclusion is that CRS 18-4-504 third-degree criminal trespass requires a voluntary act distinct from violation of this rule. You cannot trespass someone from public property that is open to the public while they are conducting legitimate business or engaged in activity that aligns with the mission of the facility unless they commit a crime. That a person found in violation of a rule may feel inclined to remain on the property does not thereby transfer the rule into criminal provisions. Basically, this is an attack on homelessness. Any law or rule made by government must be narrowly tailored and viewpoint neutral. The rule is clearly not viewpoint neutral, as it discriminates against the homeless for having body odor, something in which they have no control over, as they are incapable of taking regular showers and having access to deodorant. Furthermore, what is offensive to some may not be offensive to others. In the 60s, some people found black people to be offensive. But I think we can all agree that banning someone from public property based on the color of their skin, something in which they have no control over, just because some may be offended by their presence, is immoral and unlawful. Just as banning a homeless man with body odor, something he has no control over, just because some may be offended by his presence, is immoral and unlawful. So not only is this a violation of a homeless man or woman's civil rights protected under the 14th Amendment to conduct business on public property, but the city manager, Sean Lewis, drafted the standards of behavior policy with such generality that it risks ensnarement of anyone who walks through the door of an Englewood city facility in a net designed for others. This gives government too much power and discretion. If a public employee doesn't like someone or doesn't like their conduct, even if it's lawful, all they have to do is say, you have body odor. And lastly, it's in violation of the First Amendment. In the 1943 case of Martin v. City of Struthers, the Supreme Court ruled the First Amendment includes freedom to receive speech as well as the freedom to speak. So we have a First Amendment right to access the library downstairs, body odor or not. I will end this with an 1886 case of Norton v. Shelby County. A unconstitutional act is not a law. It confers no rights. It imposes no duties. It affords no protection. It creates no office. It is in legal contemplation as inoperative, as though it had never been passed. That's all I have.
Mr. Cordova, thank you very much for your time tonight. Any questions? Member Wright.
Hello, Mr. Cordova, thank you for being here. You gave a Colorado revised statute.
Yeah.
Could you please repeat that to me?
It is CRS 18-4-504.
18-4-0
504.
504. Okay, there's a reason you're here this evening. Can you give me an example when this standard of behavior has been enacted? Do you have a name and can you tell me what happened, please?
To my knowledge, I don't know. I know that the policy has been in existence for a little over a year. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it being enforced, but I just want to let you guys know about this. I know you all are very well versed in the Constitution since you all swore an oath to it, but I encourage you to do your due diligence, look up the 14th Amendment to refresh your memory, because I'm trying to help you guys, and I'm trying to help the homeless. If you guys were to enforce this, it costs the taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars in civil rights lawsuits.
And then one more question. You said Martin versus,
Yeah, that is the 1943 case of Martin versus City of Struthers. Struthers.
thank you so much, I appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
Mayor Protem.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Cordova, for coming tonight. I'm just curious on this, you only highlighted one here in yellow, or is this the only one you think needs, or backs or violates these constitutional provisions? Or-
Yeah, that's the only one that I saw there.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
All right, with no further questions, Mr. Cordova, thank you for your time tonight.
thanks.
Up next is Gary Kozak here to address council.
Not wrong.
Good evening, Mr. Kozak. You can just state your name and your address for cross streets.
Yeah, Gary Kozak, Englewood, Colorado. By the law, anybody can even live outside of Englewood and still have the right to come forward and speak. Good evening, council. I hope you had a nice holiday and New Year's. I got some voice problems because I'm gonna have some surgery done. City council, you all took an oath. The new members just took it, but you guys took an oath also to uphold the city charter and the constitution of the city as well as the constitution of the state of Colorado. You swore to that oath and that you would maintain that, and that's why you're there. What is the city council purpose? New city residents that are here to help oversee the process of the city government and represent the public at large. You set up boards and commissions to help you as a sounding board, so that another group of people can sit there and talk about things and then present it to you guys, so you have a better idea and a better feel of what goes on within the city. That's your responsibility, and I was a city council member at one time. You have a judicial body that oversees all the financing. I hear on the street that we have a problem with our judge, and that you didn't want to pay him more money, and some of it is that officers can't even make it to here, and that's because we're short officers on the street. For every new apartment house, you have to have at least 2 officers. But did you consider illness? Did you consider vacations? There's a lot of officers that end up having to get paid overtime because they don't have enough officers to precipitate what is the needs on the street. I brought up the boards and commissions, and they also have to abide by the Constitution and support it. The city staff, as well, has to represent the Constitution and support it. I required the following, was a Cora request, that I'm working on the story. I made the Cora request for my story, and I asked for any independent emails, intergovernmental emails within the city management, city council, and boards and commissions. There is a law of how quick that has to be returned to me, but it took over 2 weeks. I got the emails, and it showed, I got the Cora response, and it showed when the city manager and city attorney received communication, but they didn't show anything that they responded to any of it. And furthermore, I had areas that were blocked out of people that claimed that I didn't have the rights to know what those people said. It's intergovernmental, it was within the city of Englewood, and communication between boards and directors, as well as another group of boards. And why was that blocked out? Really nice question. You're the overseer of seeing that things are done properly. Like I said, there was no responses back from the city attorney and city manager. And I talked about the reductions of the names that were blocked out. And this all has to do with city business. Now, the Sunshine Law. You better take a closer look, because your boards and commissions are also required to adhere to the Sunshine Law. If you guys leave this meeting and walk out in the parking lot, and there's 4 or more of you within a group right there, it has to be recorded. No matter what you're talking about, because you're leaving the inference that you're communicating outside the governing body in the recorded sessions. And I know for a fact that this occurred in the library commission meeting. And a group of people got together and had some more discussions about what was going on in the library board. And that's been looked into for a violation of the Sunshine Law. It happens to all of us. I was on the city council, I know all about
Mr.
it.
Kozak, your 5 minutes are up. Thank you for your time, Mr. Kozak. Any questions for members of council? Go ahead, Ms. Russell.
So, could you bring it to a point, I mean, I know you've said several things, but did you have one thing that you wanted us to do as a result of your conversation with us?
You gotta oversee, you're here to represent the citizens and oversee the function of the city. And with the city manager and city attorney, they're the ones that you have authority to control and oversee that they're doing it properly. If they're violating the constitutional laws and stuff, that comes back on you because you're the one that's supposed to oversee it. And I was only looking for a story, and I got shortchanged, but now I'm hearing that this is happening a lot.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate it, Mr. Kozak.
Thank you.
Mr. Kozak, with no further questions, thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Up next is Doug Code, Englewood resident here to address council regarding history.
I'm a little worried about him. He was really off tonight.
Good evening.
Gary was struggling.
3051 South Marion Street. As the new year starts, there are many things to be thankful for. City of Englewood, I want to thank you all. I want to start by the follow-up on that bus stop issue over in Girard and Lincoln. I'm not sure how it got moved from the corner up that hill, that steep hill, into the shadow of the building, but that was a dangerous change that was made. People with limited mobility had a very hard time getting to the new bus stop. Thank you, Member Russell and Manager Lewis, and whoever it was who got the shovel and dug that post out of the ground and piled it back down the hill. Thank you for caring for the seniors and the people with disabilities from the Valley Center and the Science Center in Orchard Place. Thank you for fixing the problem. Then I want to thank the city of Englewood for working with Historic Englewood to create the walking tour brochures. People are worried about our historic places. These brochures, 3 brochures have been made so far, and we're making plans to do some more. As part of this program, small plaques have been placed at each location with the QR code, so that people who's walking down the street and they see that little plaque, they can learn the history of the spot. It's a cool to have your phone tell you a historic history story. Then I want to thank Chris Harga and the Communications Department for continuing the Englewood Moments in History videos. If you've not seen the newest one, it's a great video about one of our key industries. And the key industries in Englewood's past. General Ironworks was the largest employer for years. And it was a factory that invented new things to make the world a better place. If you have a chance, go to YouTube, type in the title, Englewood Moments in History. There are 30 different movies out that give a good spread of our ideas on our history. Then I want to thank the city of Englewood for working with the Historic Society to create a local history museum. And I'm so excited about this. The museum has been our mission since the society came into existence. We're currently renovating the Museum of Outdoor Art Space and are looking forward to the opening in March. Coacting Music donated 10 big showcases to us, and Universal Music told us 2 at a very good price. People have donated money and lots of effort to make it happen. We're really thankful about that. We're moving our archives out of the ground level storage space into our new area, and that work will be done by the end of January. Although most likely, that work will be done by 1 o'clock this coming Saturday afternoon. We've almost got the ground level place ready for the piece to get back over. The first exhibit is going to be the history center of the city. Thank you to the city for retaining the Cinder Alley sign. For those of you who are not old enough or live someplace else when Cinder Alley City was here, you need to come and have a look at the spread on it. It's going to be cool. And for those of you all who remember Cinder Alley City, because you back went there and shopped, or went there, here, when this was made in that story, 3 stories closed. I think you're going to be very impressed. Anyway, thank you.
Mr. Code, thank you very much for your time tonight. Member Russell.
Mr. Cohn, thank you very much. I do have a question. So, is the bus stop on Girard back where it belongs?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
The bus stop and the bench got moved back downhill to the flat six.
Yay, thank you so much.
And I'm not sure how that got moved up the hill, but somebody loaded it on a little cart and brought it back downhill.
Okay, perfect, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Number right.
Hi, Mr. Bond, happy New Year.
Well, thank you.
Did you say it's Englewood Moments in History on YouTube?
Yes, yeah, if you go to the YouTube website, and then there's 30 different movies that Chris Hardeth and the communications department, working with the Historic Society, has made. Yes, that's called Englewood Moments in History.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Member Wilson, do you have anything else, or we're good? Oh, perfect. No, I think we're all good. Mr. Code, thank you very much for your time tonight. Happy New Year to you as well. Moving on next is Marjorie Winters here to address council regarding Judge Jefferson. Good evening, Ms. Winters. If you could just state your name and your address or cross streets.
Yes, my name's Margaret Hunters, it's 3333 South Lincoln, Englewood. My name is Margaret Hunters, and I am born and raised here in Englewood. So is my family. I am truly upset that someone is trying to take Judge Jefferson off of the bench because he is a man true to his word. He truly cares to help his people, not throw the books at them. And I would like to speak upon his behalf and say he belongs on the bench. He does his job right and he is not one to discriminate. He is not a crooked judge. He shows he cares and wants to help his people do right, not fall. He offers resources to help oneself. I myself have stood in front of him charged with homelessness, trash and trespassing. I was homeless and I didn't have the money or the resources to get help. Judge Joe Jefferson helped me instead of charging me with so much court costs and fees. He gave me community service to help me pay my dues. He also gave me resources for housing, food, and health, which helped me tremendously. He also helped me by letting me do my community service with Regan Benson, who is our homeless advisor. She has a nonprofit organization that helps the homeless. She would help us with our appointments, transportation to the doctors, housing, and etc. She helped us not because she had to, but because she cared and wanted to do so. Thanks to Jefferson, I was introduced to Regan Benson and got the help I needed. I am working with Regan once more because of Sheridan for getting into the trash and gathering things that I could sell. I'm being criminalized for recycling other people's garbage, and other people are not. They're being applied for it. The judge in Sheridan is very discriminated against the homeless, and I find him racist against Mexicans, homeless, blacks, and all women. The judge in Sheridan offered no resources for the homeless community, so I ask you please to give Judge Jefferson the respect he deserves from the city and council. I am no longer homeless. I have been housed for over 2 years now. I have my daughter back in my life, and I'm doing so much better thanks to Judge Jefferson. And I just wanted to tell him and read it, thank you both. I also had a friend that wanted to be here tonight, but he cannot because of warrants for being charged with the same thing, and he's going to be arrested. I have one other thing that I'd like to read that Ms. Regan asked me to do so. Again, my name is Marjorie Hunters, and here, what you are going to remember when you hear my name. I am a kind, compassionate, forgiving, selfless, gorgeous, understanding, thoughtful, sympathetic, and loving human being. And I am absolutely gorgeous inside and out. I matter, and I'm a mother and a daughter to those who love me and care about me. I love back conditionally. If I saw you suffering or struggling, I would help you.
Member Ryan has a question for you.
Thank you, Ms. Winters, and yes, you do matter. Thank you for coming here. I forgot what I was gonna ask. You touched my heart. How many encounters with Judge Jefferson have you had?
I've had a total of 3.
And was it with their, and I don't know the name of it, their navigator that has helped you with outreach programs and that type of thing?
Jefferson is one that was the housing place that I could go to get help.
Okay, and you still live in Englewood?
And I'm in the house now. I have a place to live now.
Okay, and are you receiving wraparound services?
Yes,
Okay, through Englewood?
yes.
Okay. Well, congratulations and keep up the fantastic work that you're doing.
Any other questions for members of the council? Ms. Winters, thank you very much for coming tonight. Thank you very much for being where you are today. Thank you. Up next is Reed Benson here to address the council regarding city resources. Good evening, Ms. Benson. Can you just state your name and your address for questions?
You already know my name, it's Rita Benson. That is an amazing human being. Take note, everyone. This coming week, Thursday to be exact, there's an individual on the Englewood court docket with 25 separate municipal cases. I see you all looking down. It's crazy that even the most sane person what Englewood is trying to accomplish by criminalizing homelessness. It's pure insanity to even contemplate that this is a good use of taxpayer resources. I want to put it on the record that I expect to see your elected judge fully compensated above market value. Why? Because Joe Jefferson is by far a commodity to justice, not a revenue stream to justice, Mr. Ward. That's right. The courts are not a revenue stream for this city. And I don't ever want to hear you say that Jefferson is not doing his job ever again. Do I make myself crystal clear on that? If I hear you chastising Judge Jefferson again on his job performance, I'm going to be back on the record every single time setting you straight, because you don't know what you're talking about. And it appears you think you're an expert on how the courts run here in Englewood. Well, you're not, and you should contemplate not talking just to hear yourself talk with the goal of sounding important. I've witnessed and have been a very active spectator of this court system in recent years. While working with the unhoused population to meet goals, and we've been very successful because of Judge Jefferson. The Englewood courts has become a well-oiled machine. And that costs money, Mr. Ward. Justice costs money. And this city, in its arrogant and inhumane quest to criminalize the homeless, is costing taxpayers big bucks. How about you quit passing ordinances designed to target the homeless? Have you ever thought about that cost savings? No, you haven't, because your allegiance is to force to solve homelessness. It's ludicrous, and it's not working, Mr. Lewis. I'm speaking to you as well. Judge Jefferson is head over heels in comparison to other municipal judges in, number one, his demeanor and real understanding of issues plaguing a community that is purely a public health crisis. Number two, he's ensuring due process for the accused, and that is saving this city from very costly litigation. Number three, this city government and its voting populace expect the courts to solve homelessness through criminalization by way of a judge and a part-time court navigator. Does anyone at all understand those implications? You should be at the very least increasing the court's budget on this far-fetched utopia and paying a good judge good money to meet those demands. Give the man his raise in the same equitable fashion that you've given other department heads in this city that apparently only serve as revenue generators to this council. Next, I want to touch on what I put on the record here in the past, specific to your cozy and unethical arrangement you have with e-arts. There's no question now what this majority council is doing with that contract arrangement, and it's rooted 100% in nepotism to further personal relationships and agendas with the church. Ms. Noonan Camp, a vote you were required to recuse yourself from, allowing ERs, a nonprofit, free use of taxpayer-owned facilities that they get to generate revenue off of for the purpose of holding church that you attend and promote. Here's the answer to attempt to remedy this situation, one that I'm certain the city attorney will appreciate. Englewood City Charter, Chapter 11, Code of Ethics, challenges for conflict of interest. Study up and pay close attention to the words, any person may challenge, that's any person. Next, I want to touch on Englewood's partnership and $1.4 million contribution to taxpayer dollars to Tri-Cities homeless conglomerate that's meeting out of the public view. I emailed Mike Sandring to ask him if I could go to your policy working group meetings, and he told me no. You're making policy behind closed doors. We know how government does this to get around transparency of shuffling hundreds of millions of dollars in one-time funds.
Ms. Benson, thank you very much for your time.
Stop it.
Members of council, do you have any questions for Ms. Benson? Seeing none, Ms. Benson, thank you very much. And with that, that concludes scheduled public comment. We'll move to unscheduled public comment. We have 5 speakers here tonight. Up first is Pam Peak here to speak about homelessness. Good evening, Ms. Peak. If you could just state your name and your address across the street.
Yes, Pam Peak, and I'm right between the two cabinets. I'm here to speak to you as a parent and as the mother of a homeless person in Englewood. First of all, my son has been arrested many times for sleeping in the park, for sleeping on the sidewalk, for having an open container park. He did have one possession charge for marijuana. So he came in on 2 failures of care. My first complaint is that when he was arrested, all of his belongings never come back to him. They are disposed of. And this seems to be, I spent last week interviewing homeless people, and this is, I talked to 11 different people, and this is what happens to their stuff too. It is clearly thrown out. And I think somebody needs to look at that, because there ought to be a way. These people have so little, and then when they get out of jail, they have to start over, which is a burden in terms of, well, I'm 80 years old, and I keep providing bedrolls. I feel like I'm supplying half of the homeless in Englewood with bedrolls, sleeping bags, boots, jeans. The next issue that I would like to comment on is the public bathrooms in the parks are closed in Englewood, denying these people a place to pee and poop, okay? And this is a basic right that we should all have. The second thing, I would like to tell you something a little funny here. Probably 3 weeks ago, I came down to Broadway, and I was on the south side of Key Supers, and I had some boots for my son. They're size 12, they're huge. So, and I had jeans in there, and a sweater. And I was tired of carrying the bag. I'm 80 years old. I threw it up over my shoulder. I was stopped by an Englewood policeman, and he says to me, I need some ID. And I won't quote exactly what I said, but I indicated to him that, first of all, he needed to step back. And I did say to him, I beg your pardon. I never produced an ID, but I went up one side of him and down the other. He thought I was homeless, and I told him, you're part of the problem then, not part of the solution. The people who are homeless, they might be out there for one reason, it may change. But point in fact, they're treated badly, and I think they are criminalized. This kid is never, he's 47, he's a man, he's not a kid. And they get the same treatment at Swedish Hospital. He got hit by a mail truck. They treated him and released him. He has a head injury, and he's missed appointments because he got arrested Christmas Day. He went outside my apartment to have a smoke. And I am tired of the criminalization of these people. I don't think it's necessary. I really am beginning to wonder myself, is this just a revenue stream? Because where is he going to get a pair? Where's he going to get money to pay?
Ms. Peak, I need to stop you.
I'm sorry.
3 minutes are Your 3 minutes are up to speak.
Okay,
Thank you for your time.
all right, thank you.
Ms. Wright has, or sorry, Member Wright has a question for you. Go ahead, Ms. Wright.
Speaks. When the officer stopped you, did you happen to get that officer's information?
No, because when I got done with him, I was embarrassed because I told him, the last thing I said to him was I raised 3 kids and I would just as soon slap you into the middle of next week as have you talk to me like that. And I told him clearly, you don't approach an 8-year-old woman.
And because you had a bag over your shoulder, he assumed that you were.
Yeah, it was a white garbage bag from the kitchen that I moved something, you know, it's just easier to carry that way. But it was humorous, you know.
Okay, yeah, not at the moment, obviously. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Peak, just a quick question for you. On your first complaint, regarding the, once arrested, the belongings and never go back to the individual, did you say that you surveyed other homeless people as well?
Yes, I did.
And same thing happened with them?
Yes.
Okay.
You would vouch for that.
Alright, perfect, thank you for that, and then stick around to the end, I haven't answered the second complaint, so, without any further questions, thank you very much for your time, Ms. Peak.
Thank you.
Up next is Sandy Kettlehut, here to speak as well, I can't understand what the reason is, sorry about that.
Can't understand or can't read.
Good evening, Ms. Kettlehut.
Good evening, my cross streets are Grace and Eastman, my name is Sandra Kellett.
Thank you.
I'm speaking this evening regarding agenda item 9A1. I do not feel that the citizens of Englewood should be reimbursing any council members involved in the recall. And I do not feel that the council members involved in the recall should be voting on this agenda item. They should be excused and excusing themselves. The recall election results did not accurately show what should have happened. Nathaniel Sierra was not recalled by only 192 votes. 547 signed the recall petition, but 327 did not vote, more than enough to have recalled him. Chelsea Newcamp was not recalled by only 29 votes. 411 signed the recall petition, but 171 did not vote. Again, more than enough to have recalled her. Joe Anderson was not recalled by 254 votes. 680 signed the recall petition, but 363 did not vote. Again, more than enough to have recalled her. In my opinion, the recall election was set up on October 3rd by staff as a deliberate attempt to confuse voters. The blue books came out right about the same time as the October 3rd election, creating this confusion. After the election, I became aware of many voters that meant to vote but did not because they were confused. The election should have been held in September before general election materials went sent out. Our documents were supposed to be turned in by July 6th. There was ample time for that. The city has already spent more than enough on the election that the citizens requested. There was an alternate, less expensive choice that you rejected. The city and the council members made the cost of the election their main talking point and nothing else. The citizens should not be responsible for any money spent by a council member for their recall. That was their choice to defend their position. Should the citizens be reimbursed for their expenses? June 4th will be here in no time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kelhut. Any questions for Ms. Kelhut? Ms. Kelhut, I do have one question. What was the alternative to the way that we ran the election?
We were presented a ballot box method, and it was presented here in council. Go back and look at your previous meetings. I don't remember what it was exactly called, but it was a ballot box with different coloring things, and it was very cheap. It was like $1,000 or $2,000, $3,000.
I think that was the free version that they suggested. I don't think there was a cost to it. Was there a cost associated with that version?
I don't remember exactly. Let's put it this way. It didn't cost what you guys chose to spend the money on.
The 138,000.
Yeah, which you all focused on because that was not the issue.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kelhut. Any other questions? Thank you for your time tonight.
You're welcome.
Up next is Kathy Nunn, Middle Topic. Good evening, Ms. Nunn. If you could just state your name and your address across streets.
Good evening. Happy Mountain, I'm on Jason and Union. If the city backs a council member with funding to maintain should be remaining neutral. I also believe this sets a precedent that in the future will make a recall impossible, inevitably taking away the voice and legal rights of the citizens. Since a council member will know recall costs are covered, what is the incentive to search for more economical printing or mailing large quantities of information to counter the recall, or for paying people to hang flyers or generating slick, expensive brochures? On another note, I was very disappointed by this glossy mailer that was sent out conveniently right before the election by the city. It neglects to mention some of the important things the citizens have been questioning, such as the increase in the size of the bulk plane, which would allow the development much closer encroachment on the edge of a property, possibly overshadowing the smaller house by blocking the center of view. It does not mention the future building will not require parking on the premises. It does not mention the increased definition of household size. Design standards, as listed in here, brochure states Englewood now has design and appearance regulation for new homes, and not seeing new builds that maintain the character of existing neighborhoods. It also states that Code Next does not allow for duplexes, triplexes, or any other multi-unit buildings to be constructed in R1. What are courtyard houses, which are permitted in R1? Yes, they're separate dwellings, but the density is such that there can as well be attached triplexes or quadplexes. There's no mention of courtyard housing in R1 neighborhoods in this mailer. It fails to bring up the big concerns that have been brought to the attention of the city by the people who attend these meetings and are paying attention to what's going on. It does not adequately inform the general population of the full truth of Code Next. This previous flyer that was sent out says, "You spoke, we listened." I think that's true, the city. I think you did listen to all our objections and the things that would really inform the public, and you managed to leave it off this flyer.
Thank you, Ms. Mount, for your time tonight. Any questions? Seeing none, thank you for your time. Up next is Jan Whitebird, with no topic given. Good evening, Ms. Whitebird. You can just state your name and your address across, please.
Good evening, Jan Weinberg, Edmond Bellevue, and thanks for the Pledge of Allegiance. I appreciated that. I still like to see a short invocation. So I came, and I really was coming about the reimbursement. My feeling is this: if you guys were all listening up there to us and responding to us in a respectful manner, no recall would have ever happened. It was the lack of paying attention and the lack of response that there were 4 people that were being recalled. Steve Ward was the next one in line and came real close, but he at least has listened and made some, attempt to pay attention to us. So no, I don't think money should be reimbursed. But that's that. So let's look at a couple of things tonight. I wanted to say homelessness. I worked for the Colorado Coalition for the Homeless for 18 years. I worked for them. My heart goes out to them. I'm amazed at this young woman here because she now is on the flip side of getting her life together. And thank God. There are so many other people out there that we know as parents, as friends, as neighbors, as relatives. And it's hard for them, it's hard for us. And there's a fine line on what we're going to do. One of the things I would say when we're talking about odor and bugs can be a health hazard, sorry. Bugs, and one of the suggestions I was going to have is to look at Denver Public Library. They actually were closed down for quite a while because of the bug infestation that came in with the homeless. So one of the things I saw on the internet, interestingly enough, was a defogger that people had go over them to I do think there are potential issues there. But you know, the homeless, my heart goes out, and Judge Jefferson is a beacon of hope because he is a positive, ethical person. What's happening in our country right now is we have people that are sexual predators. They don't tell us what's going on. They're hiding the truth. The truth is important, and above everything, we should have free and fair elections, and we should have recordings of all meetings. They shouldn't be hidden, and people that are saying things behind closed doors should be taken off these boards and commissions. BH is one of them. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Piper, for your time tonight. Any questions for Ms. Piper?
Thank you.
Seeing none, thank you for your time tonight, Ms. Piper. And final, last on the list is C.N. Dickerson here from the topic. Thank you, Ms. Dickerson. If you just state your name and your address for copies.
I forgot my glasses. I have trouble reading. Sam Dickerson, District 1. There should be no reimbursement. Just because the CRS says may does not mean should, or that the dollars listed were for the recall. Where are the invoices and the materials showing the recall message? I did not receive any door hanger. No one I know did. The only thing we saw that even related to the recall from Mr. Sierra was the sign topper. Even with invoices and actual mailings and door hanger materials, there is a presumption that all mailings within the campaign period are for the re-election. I see this as conflict of interest. Member Sierra voted to push the recall so close to the now election, obscuring election campaigning by claiming it was recall messages. Do not approve of this reimbursement. As a citizen, I should not have to have my tax dollars given to Sierra because 45+% of the citizens exercise their constitutional and charter rights to recall. No subject of the recall should be able to vote on this reimbursement. This is the only mailing I got, and it was strictly campaign re-election material. It says so. And we have no evidence whatsoever that any of your listed expenses were for the recall, except maybe the sign tower.
Anything else, Ms. Dickerson? Thank you for your time, Ms. Dickerson. Any questions for Ms. Dickerson? Seeing none, thank you for your time. And that concludes unscheduled public comments. Member Praying, the floor is all yours.
Thank you for that. A lot of material covered tonight and a lot of passion in what people brought forward. So I just wanted to thank each and every one of you who did come forward to speak tonight, to share your thoughts and your opinions, to give direction of how you think things should go with council votes. Even if those votes don't end up being aligned completely with where we're at, it's just amazing to me to see that we have a community of members who continue to come forward and share their thoughts. I probably will not go through every single person that spoke to me, but I did want to make a few pointed comments from a few speakers. Mr. Cordova, thank you so much for coming forward and reminding us of our responsibilities to the Constitution. I would certainly hope that our standards of behavior that are posted are not implemented in such a way that it would ever purposely discriminate against someone who is homeless. I understand the concerns of body odor. What I know of our city staff so far in my short tenure is that the intention would not be to discriminate, but maybe rather
But to intimidate.
just, make sure that we have environments that are safe
Mhm.
and welcoming to all members that are coming into our city building. But I do appreciate your caution to us. Council appreciates that. Mr. Kozchuk, I'm sorry if I got that incorrect. I have concerns about what you brought forward on the sunshine laws. I agree with you. I think that's a worthy caution and one that we can look into further and inquire if we do have boards and commissions that are, having members having private conversations. That's not okay, and we do need to address it. I do want to clarify, as I'm sure you know, it's only breaking the law if you're discussing business pertaining to the city or that particular commission or board. So obviously we would need to do a little more digging there. Thank you for bringing that forward to our attention. Mr. Cohn, thank you always for your passion for history of the city. We have lots of opportunity to discuss moving forward and what the city should continue to look like, but you are just an imperative. You play an imperative role in the city to keep history in front of us and remind us of where we came from and remind us of the beauty of what made Englewood as special as it is, and hoping that we can continue that feel as we move forward and make decisions for progress within the city. Always appreciate a positive comment as well, and the thoughts of gratitude. I'm sure city staff appreciate hearing those thoughts. Let's see. Miss Winters, I too, as Councilmember Wright spoke to, was very moved by what you had to say. I think it takes a lot of strength and vulnerability to come up here and share your life story, and it's part of what makes a difference. I'm not sure about what rumors have or haven't been swirling out there around Judge Jefferson. I want to assure you, at least my intent in asking questions about his salary were more based in process. Let's just understand, and I think one of our other public commenters mentioned, making sure that we have fair processes for other city staff as well as the judge, and that it's an equitable process. And I do think a lot of the discussion generated surrounded what that process is and the structure that we can use to make appropriate decisions. But I do think that your comments and several other public comments tonight, just speaking to the passion that you feel of how Judge Jefferson really cares for this community and the improvements that you're seeing in the court systems and how you feel less targeted and discriminated against are really important for us to hear. So thank you so much for being brave to share your story with us tonight. And let's see. I think that is mostly what I have for commentary. Regarding the several comments made about reimbursing or not for Mayor Sarah's request that I don't believe is going to be discussed tonight. I hear everyone's concerns. I do want to share my personal opinion, and it will come out more in our discussion when we do get a chance to have the conversation together as council. But I do think that we have to keep things fair for everyone. And while some people may view that constituents having the right to run a recall election and ask of the city to spend their monies in running that special election on behalf of the petitions that were filed for the recall. Similarly, Mayor Sierra has rights as a citizen of the city to make the request that he's making. And so I don't think that we should elevate one person's rights over another, but we should have a tough conversation. So I do appreciate the words that you have brought forward tonight and your thoughts on that, and I hope that our conversation around that will be robust when the time comes.
Yes, right.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Praying. Go ahead, Member Ward.
Mayor, I do have one council request in response to my constituent, Mr. Kozak's Cora. If I could get a copy of the documents that were provided and the timeline of the request. If Mr. Kozak has not been provided with the privilege log advising him of the purpose of the redactions in the documents, I believe that would be helpful to the process as well. We may not have requested that, but it would be useful to know what was redacted. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Ward, Member Wright, and then Member Russell.
I have a couple, council requests. One, the Tri-Cities, as to why, the meetings are not open. Ms. Reagan mentioned that, she was told that she would not be welcome in that meeting. I'd like to know why, especially we have 3 cities involved in that. Those meetings should absolutely be open to everybody. And the other one, Ms. Peaks, was saying that her son, along with, others, had, the belongings, they lost their belongings, when arrested. I would like to know that process, and if it's not a process
I'll
where
tell you the
the
process.
belongings
Can they
are
take it and
taken
throw it away?
holding at the police station, something needs to change. That is everything in the world to these people,
Mhm.
and it is our responsibility to make sure it's cared for like it's back on us. So, something needs to be done about the process or something. So, those are my 2 requests.
Yeah, thank you, Member Wright. I have that one as well. So, Member Russell, go ahead.
Thank you. So actually, I think, I appreciate Councilmember Ward's request, and I would like to make sure it's a council request, then all council will get that information. I do have, thank you, Ms. Peak, for coming and sharing with us tonight. I know that it's difficult, and I have some concerns about the report of how she was treated. And I think that we need to get the information on that if we can, because I just, not just her, I want to make sure it's not happening to other people as well. And I will say that the reimbursement is on the agenda tonight, and that will be discussed. And it's been pulled off the consent agenda item, and there will be some questions asked. So I appreciate your coming forward with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Russell. I think we covered just about everything here. Ms. Peak, I did want to give you an answer to the second complaint, which is the why the public bathrooms are closed for the winter. And Director Underhill or City Manager Lewis, just correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think our piping is winterized, so we have to close the bathrooms. During the winter, I found that complaint from many residents as well, that once, during the winter, unfortunately, playtime just ends because someone needs to use the bathroom. So that's the current issue, but City Manager Lewis.
But yeah, here in the building, you can't even use the bathroom here either.
Within the city.
It is true, and we do have portalets that are placed in those parks when the bathrooms are closed.
That's correct. And I know that Bates at least has a bathroom in the parking area that is currently not, being used by construction by Excel. So I think that's it. But yeah, these should all be council requests. Go ahead, Member Ray.
Is there a way we can look into for a porta potty in the area where it's a high traffic area for the homeless, maybe? I think we all
Kim
know
is asking
those
for a bathroom
areas.
for the homeless.
And this may,
That's gonna be a big no.
you may have to ask the courts or those that are well versed in some of the tickets that, people get, but it may reduce the amount of those tickets.
Oh yeah, somebody's on the docket this week too for urinating in public.
Areas that are high traffic areas where a bathroom is not easily accessible. The formerly known as the duck pond is top of mind for me in that area, I think, so that we can make something accessible for people and then maybe reduce.
Thank you, AB, I will.
urinating in public tickets, and those type of things where, we could try and
Put a porta potty in the building for the workers and let the peasants
All right,
use
anyone
the
else?
porcelain thrones.
Public comments. Does anybody need a break, or are we good to go straight to consent?
Yeah, let's take a break.
Yeah, sure. We'll take a 5-minute break if we can come back at 10. Is that fine? Perfect. All right, thank you, everyone.
Break time.
Thank you for your advocating.
Of course.
It's a tough thing. And I think
Tell
there,
you one thing though, out of being homeless for 5 years, not one homeless person I've ever met has bugs.
well, I've seen
I've
it
seen-
physically, I've
I've
seen
seen
it, so.
people that are housed in multi-million-dollar homes that have bugs.
Yes, I agree. No, I agree. But it was the one thing he said, regardless of who it is, then maybe they need to fumigate people when they walk.
Yeah, I really am not okay
I'm
with
not,
that.
no,
Are you serious about that?
it's on airplanes and things, I've seen it.
To fumigate people for
That is
bugs?
discrimination.
Well, regardless,
And
it's not
Ugh.
discrimination if everybody.
That's pretty much giving you a chemical, like cockroach chemical.
Oh,
and that-
I wouldn't do it. I mean, I
Okay, there
wouldn't
you
do
go.
it.
You
But,
think that homeless
but
people do that? No.
I just.
That's wrong.
No,
You're wrong.
no,
You're wrong. You're wrong.
I said it should be done. I said there are, well, anyway.
On the last apartment complex, I
All right, well, here, let me get my pen, let me get my purse. We've got our goods. Gary, you doing all right tonight?
They want to reimburse the city council.
Oh, I
for
know,
that.
I've been watching.
Why didn't they say we should reimburse the homeless for what was not returned to them?
Yeah, thank you, Gary. Yeah,
I will be back again, but I'd had to do what I did
right.
on the Constitution and stuff, and then I didn't know he was going to do that too. Now we've got it on record.
Right.
I can go back after him on the code next. Because they amended the code next on final reading, and by their own rules, by their own home charter, they had to go back to the planning and zoning to reevaluate their adjustments. And they refused, even though Rita went ahead and made a motion to go ahead and send it back to the planning and zoning, and they refused it. They never gave her a second.
Yeah, just like this whole thing with e-arts as well.
Thank you. I want to thank you for bringing that up because it is a huge problem and you're doing a good job.
Well, Noonan Camp didn't recuse herself, and any person can challenge that. And I might just be that any person.
Perfect.
Yeah. So let's go take a look at the behavior standards here in Englewood for smelling and having bugs and all that stupid shit. Okay, she probably went to have a smoke. She's pretty fired up. I don't blame her. Let's look at this stupid shit. We visit this a lot when I come in here, right, guys? So we've done this a lot. So let's just firm it up here. So this is what Christopher was talking about tonight. This is what I continue to talk about. I'm not sure that you were fully correct in giving them a firm answer that this is the only part that you did say from what you know as being unconstitutional, because this is full of some outrageous horse shit.
I'll be back on the next one to see if they took it down.
Oh, they're not taking.
I'll just be here every single time then. And,
Will you?
Oh yeah.
That'll be good.
The city council, or the mayor, not the mayor, but the other
City manager is Sean Lewis.
No, the mayor guy, he's on the
Nathaniel
council.
Sierra.
I don't know his name, he's got the beard. It's like the
Joe
deputy mayor
Anderson.
or something like that.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, pro tem. That's what it is. He came out here and shook my hand. He said, "Hey, you made some really good points. I agree with you." So I struck a chord with him at least. I think I struck a chord with that other lady up there. So
Right.
hopefully they'll talk about it and just take it out of there. I didn't see anything that I saw was unconstitutional, but if there is more stuff, I mean, you're welcome to address it.
Well,
but I'd like
addressing
to-
it with council is not the issue. Addressing it with Sean Lewis is the issue, because Sean Lewis drafted. Council gave no approval or not for the council thing. This is a city business thing. So I guess at best, you could get council to have more discussion about it, to take it to a vote, but they don't have the authority or the position to tell Sean Lewis to take that down. You see?
Right.
So really the crux here is, why did Sean Lewis, of course, probably, we don't know, with the help of the city attorney, draft this horse shit when he took this job? Standards of behavior. Let's read this. The City of Englewood serves and conducts business with customers and community members in various settings and facilities. An atmosphere of welcome, courtesy, respect, and business is maintained on city property. These standards of behavior protect the rights and safety of visitors, employees, and volunteers, prohibit unreasonable interference with others' lawful use of city facilities, and preserve city equipment, facilities, and grounds. Actions described below violate city standards of behavior in all outdoor and indoor areas and structures owned, controlled, or operated by the City of Englewood, including city parks, open spaces, recreation facilities, pools and buildings, libraries, collectively referred to as city facilities. Warning, removal, and exclusion for violation of these standards are supplemental to all other actions authorized by law, such as criminal charges. This is shit. But what they have done is gone back to municipal code, and I'm going to cite some code. I'm going to put it on my community tab. They've created laws that target this behavior of standards, okay? So that's how they're getting away with enforcing it. Are you listening carefully? Are you enforcing this? You're not enforcing it? So do you go to the park and tell somebody, I don't want you here, you need to leave, you're trespassing? You don't do that? That's good. Okay. Tier 1, inappropriate behavior may result in warning, immediate removal, and/or removal exclusion up to 90 days. Disruptive activity and behavior, this alone is unconstitutional, such as noise, music, and voices. So your voice can be considered a disruptive activity depending on who that's arbitrarily going to apply to or try to enforce. He could right now tell me that he doesn't like the tone of my voice or the level that I'm speaking. And he could tell me to tone it down, or I'm going to be in violation of these standards. No, you don't get to interfere with my speech. So interfering with normal use operation of a city facility. Littering. We already have littering laws. Blocking walkways, common areas, exits, or entrances. We already have laws for that. This is what he honed in on tonight. Unsanitary bodily hygiene. Creating a nuisance to or impeding use of a city facility by others. How can you impede the use of a facility by others with your body odor? Or bugs, truly. Bringing in personal possessions or garbage. What's considered garbage? Within a city building, which, due to foul odor or bugs, impede use of a city facility by others. Leaving personal property unattended in a city building, including bags and backpacks. Failure to wear clothing covering the upper body and genitalia, or failure to wear shoes in a city facility. Yeah, I'd like to see them try to enforce that one. Unreasonably interfering with use of a city facility by others, or interfering with city staff's performance of their duties. That's tier 1. Tier 2, we don't even have the full thing here. And they don't have shoes.
They came in here to tell somebody.
Exactly. So tier 2, so there's inappropriate behavior in tier 1. Tier 2, prohibited behavior will result in warning, immediate removal, and/or removal exclusion up to 180 days in this facility for possessing, selling, distributing, consuming, or under the influence of illegal drugs and associated paraphernalia. marijuana, tobacco consumption, use including smoking, vaping, e-cigarettes inside city buildings. We already have laws for all of this. Consumption under the influence of alcohol inside city facilities and buildings. We already have laws for this. Pornography viewing. Yeah, take that down to the library and try to enforce that. Or take that to a court and say, somebody was looking at porn on their phone in a city facility. Good luck. Unconstitutional. Sexual conduct, including sexual activity, simulated sex acts, indecent exposure. We already have laws for this. Public urination, we have laws. Physical altercations, including assault, attempted assault, we already have laws. Obscene, profane, lewd, threatening, abusive, or disparaging language. Yeah, fuck you, fucker. How's that for disparaging language? What do you think? Thank you. Slurs, epithets, gestures, and behaviors directed at another, knowing or with reasonable grounds, to know it will tend to provoke a fight. This is all standards of behavior, and then they have this discipline chart, and then ultimately, this is what we get. This court docket right here, and let's talk about Kat, who's due in court tomorrow, that they're using this on. They went and created the where's the date? 110. So 1/9 is tomorrow. So my little friend here, who I've not found, is going to be in court tomorrow. Is supposed to be in court. She's not going to come. She's barely verbal. She has no clue what the hell any of this means. Hold on, we're getting there. Here she is. Right here. Go look this up. 15-7-4B in Englewood's municipal code. They are trying to charge her for outdoor storage of personal property. Yeah, go read that. So she's already been an FTA on that case. Then she's got another case for paraphernalia. Who knows? I don't give a shit what kind of paraphernalia she had on her. Who was she hurting? Then she's here for a review hearing for park rules violation. That right here is what they are using to enforce this horse shit. 11-4-3A in Englewood Municipal Code. So an Englewood cop goes out to the park at 10:05 and goes, you know what, the park's closed. So they argue, so they get a ticket for trespassing. So then they see them somewhere else the next day. And they go, didn't I just see you in the park last night? What are you doing now? I'm just surviving on the sidewalk. Yeah, well, you can't do that either. Let's go. I know you want to go, don't you?
Can we give her a ride since we're going right there? She's
Oh,
right there by
Pam,
me.
does she need a ride?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I asked her if she
She
needed
walked
one.
over here?
She was gonna ride the bus.
Oh, no, let's
I told
take her
We're
home.
going right there 'cause we're stopping.
Let's take her home. Yeah, thanks for not being one of those assholes in your department that's doing this shit to people. It's out of control. I know not all of you are assholes, but you got a whole group of you that are, and making things really fucking ugly for a lot of people. Thank you. You too. So we're gonna go downstairs. Let's give Pam a ride home.
As always, you guys have a blessed day.
Thanks, Dwight. Pam, can I give you a ride, please? Okay, good. Yeah, I don't.
It's gonna take me to the light rail station.
Oh, it's
If
so
you're going
cold.
Right, 2 blocks up the street, I'm cool.
Yeah, no, let's, yeah. Okay, we're out of here.
You know me, I just gotta make sure you get You gotta go.
He looks out for me.
I know, he's a good guy.
All right, have a good one.
Bye.
Night, night.
Bye. All right, let's get the car warmed up. And if we see some folks along the way. Yeah, so anyway, that's the scoop. That's what's going on. And Englewood City Council is not going to recognize what they're doing because that majority city council is in support of it. And I do believe that Rita Russell and Kim Wright are going to be still in the minority of doing right with a fiduciary responsibility and understanding the human element that exists out here on the street.
You know, it's like Ford, Mr. Ford, one of the police officers, he says,
Oh yeah,
he says, "I can just go buy another pair of jeans."
Tom can go buy them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I asked him.
Right.
I said, "Are you forking over?" He says, "Mama said."
What's this side's better over here, Pam? I got stuff. MJ, will you pull some of that way? So that's the scoop, you guys. And thanks for joining us tonight. And yeah, I don't care. Nothing's probably ever really gonna change. I'm just putting it on the record. And that's the truth. Bye, guys. Thanks for being in here. Appreciate you all.